What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wolfcryer here, and about 12 hours ago, Wolcen Studios released the trailer to Content Patch 1 for Wolcen Lords of Mayhem, and about 30 minutes later, announced that the patch for this Content Patch 1 is now live. So I think that we should take a look at this trailer together, and then I want to give my thoughts on Wolcen Lords of Mayhem overall, and the trailer itself. So let's take a look.
Achieved with CryEngine.
These tricks, powers of yours, how did they manifest?
I assure you, I didn't bargain with demons.
Inquisitors know better than to believe words.
What of Edric? What will you do with Valeria? She was just evading Mayla's frenzy.
Let's make this very clear. You will do as I command.
Be at peace, for soon you shall be no more.
I should never have come here.
You saw the apparitions, didn't you?
Soul magic.
Your path isn't theirs, not anymore.
He's possessed by a demon.
Here they come! Unleash the storm now!
That's wicked cool.
From the deep, you owe them nothing.
There is no giving up on family.
All right. So there we have it, the trailer for Content Patch 1 for Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. That is pretty epic. Personally, I enjoyed the music quite a bit. It had this epic magnitude towards it, giving this grand feeling of what your story is going to be. The voice acting itself was kind of generic, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty decent voice acting. I definitely liked it, but it did still have that generic ARPG feel to the voice acting, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It wasn't super stellar in any way, shape, or form, but it's definitely better than some of the ARPGs out there currently in development, and at least one of them that has already been released. So I did enjoy the voice acting. The music itself, like I said, was pretty awesome. I definitely enjoyed that. It made me want to actually play this and find out what the story is. And I actually can't wait to jump into this. I will be taking a look at this game over the next couple of days and checking that out, because I haven't played Wolcen for about two and a half years since I did that first initial review. And during that time, I was very intrigued with the game. And I gotta say that this trailer makes me intrigued once again. I want to see what they've done with this full Act 1 story that's been added to the game, multi-phased boss fight at the end of Act 1, as well as everything else that they've been adding over the last couple of years. Now, they've done a few beta tests where they were more technical betas, so there wasn't a lot of content added. They actually took content away so that they could focus on testing certain things in the game, which made sense for a testing standpoint, but it did alienate some of the community. I think over the last few years, there's been some minor uproar in the Wolcen community itself because people were thinking that the game was taking exceptionally long. This is a game that went on Kickstarter in, I believe it was 2016, raised over $400,000 on Kickstarter, has sold multiple copies on Steam as well, but that is between 3 and 4 years of game development, so a lot of people are getting antsy with wanting to see a final product of this game, but I personally believe that patience might be the key to a quality game. We all complain about the big AAA companies putting out games that aren't completely finished and that sort of thing. Same with some of the smaller indie companies, especially some of the ARPGs that are coming up, where they might not be putting out full versions of the game and they're going along and patching it after they stated that a full release was coming, and yet it never actually released in that full state yet. This is a game that is still in early access. It is still in its beta form. It went into beta early this year, left alpha finally after 3 years, and now it is progressing in a pretty decent manner, I believe. We've got to take into account that big companies like Activision, they release a Call of Duty game every single year, but they have 3 studios working on Call of Duty games. So if you think of it that way, those studios each have about 3 years to produce that game. And this is a much, much smaller studio that, if you think about what they made on Kickstarter and on Steam, odds are that money has been used. And odds are that the inner circle of the Wolcen team has also put in massive amounts of financial resources into the game and want to create the best game that they can. You've got to remember this game has to compete with the likes of Diablo 3 and Path of Exile, as well as Diablo 4 should it ever come out, and all of these other action role-playing games that are now vying for a piece of this pie. And I think that sometimes quality is more important than just churning out a product. I know that a lot of people paid good money for this game and they're disappointed that it's taking so long, but I think in the end, most likely this game will shine in the fact that it will at least complete a vision that this company has for its game. Now, this is a vision that most likely has changed over the last couple of years because this is a completely brand new Act 1 to the game. What was previously in there back 2.5 years ago when I did my first video on Wolcen Lords of Mayhem is not in the game whatsoever. This is something that is brand new. This is the story being implemented into the game after doing a bunch of tests and changes to the core game mechanics. I'm hoping to still see apocalyptic form in this game, which they have stated is still going to be in this game. I'm hoping to see how the passive tree ends up fleshing out. I do have some issues, and some of the other people that I've talked to have some issues with the passive tree not really being affected by your class choice. We'll have to see how that plays out, but I think that overall I'll take a quality story and a quality game over something that they want to rush out to appease those players or people who have supported them that are now mad that they don't have a full game yet. And I still stand by my statement that Wolcen Lords of Mayhem is the best looking upcoming action role-playing game, and it's also better looking than some of those that are out there right now, especially some that have recently released, etc. This is a game that looks really good thanks to the CryEngine, and this is a game that they are continually working to improve visually, and I think this game holds as much promise, if not more promise today, than it did 3 years ago. This is not a company that has seemed to pack up and run off with your money. This is a company that seems focused and willing to fulfill their vision of what they want this game to be. Now, like I said, over the next couple of days, I will be taking a look at Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. I will be playing the crap out of it for the most part because I want to dig into this game. I want to see how the storyline for Act 1 shapes up. I want to see how the boss fight at the end of Act 1 shapes up. And I want to see how the game feels overall. Like I said, I haven't played it since it went into beta, so I don't know anything about the game as of right now. I'm going to go into this with a fresh, clean slate. I bought the game a couple of years ago, but I haven't really played it. So we're going to jump into this over the next few days, and I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys content for Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. So definitely hit that subscribe button down below and that little bell icon that notifies you when I put up a new video, especially if we want to know more about Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. But there's my thoughts on this trailer and Wolcen overall. I want to say thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to click this video. I always greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely let me know in that comment section down below if you are going to be playing Content Patch 1 for Wolcen Lords of Mayhem, or if you've got other concerns that you want to bring to my attention as far as this game goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace.